other one, or the mystery goo the other one. Alright, we're still in the high over Kerbal section, so that's fine. I guess we will just keep falling then. Unfortunately, we are not anywhere near the space center, so the recovery results are going to be a bit skewed, but that's okay. We can make do. So we're falling, we're falling. Alright. I'm going to burn up all of the fuel I have to help slow us down. And deploy parachutes. Disengage the SAS. Those parachutes are really tugging on us. But we did it. We survived the re-entry, even though we were coming at several thousand meters per second. It's a brilliant, brilliant re-entry. And we're going to have a nice, safe landing. We're avoiding the tiniest lake. Although, I guess once we get down towards the ground, I'm sure that lake is enormous. But we're landing in a green pasture. I mean, no rough terrain. We're not landing on the mountains or anything. It's just a nice green pasture. No cities or anything for us to land on. That's brilliant. Let's go ahead and... I guess the parachute's pull is just so strong that even though we've got these on the sides, it's still pulling us straight up. So we're going to go ahead and time warp a bit so that we can have a nice landing. I can go ahead and engage the SAS so that when we land we stay upright. Alright, we're coming in, it looks like. Nice and gentle. 5 meters per second is super gentle. Bonk. And the SAS keeps us upright. Look at that landing. That is brilliant. Let's go ahead and recover the vessel. Bam! Alright, so we got 25, 10, 2.3, and 2. So that's great. 37 science, but we also got a ridiculous amount of science completing those contracts. So we now have 200 science. We got some funds back. We got 5,788 funds. That's brilliant. And we had no crew on that mission, so there was nothing for that. Alright. Oh, look, we got a rescue mission. Oh, wow. Get Dewdrod Kerbal aboard a vessel. The way we would frequently see another unintended ignition was making research at Kerbal Motion LLC feel truly stupid. That eventually made it clear that in the aftermath of a pretty crash landing, we finally concluded that we couldn't do much else to get Dewdrod Kerbal back. We did get some good information on how Kerbal seem to enjoy high speeds, while others apparently just don't, so now we need your help. So he is stuck in orbit, and we would have to go out and collect him. But it doesn't give us any science. So while I feel bad that he's stuck out there, I don't really want to go and get him. You know what? No, we're going to go and get him. We're going to be nice. We're going to go out and we're going to rescue him. So let's accept that contract. The Mun will have to wait another day. So we've got this rocket, which did pretty good. I mean, all things considered, it did pretty good. But it could do a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and we're gonna use the same design, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit so that we have room for a Kerbal to hitch on. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to call this the Kerbal Rescue Pod 1. So again, we're going to start with a probe body, but we're going to stick a command pod underneath it, like so. And we're going to slap some electricity on it and put some parachutes on it, and we were going to completely electrify up this right here so that it just looks like solid solar panels. We need that electricity badly. This, just to help the parachute landing come in. Now then, we do need our advanced stabilizer, and we're going to need RCS fuel for this mission. So our previous setup worked just fine. I am going to make some minor tweaks to the design though. Specifically, I'm going to readjust how those solid fuel boosters were attached. And I'm also going to add in, where'd they go? Our RCS. And the reason why I am giving us RCS is because we need to get close to him without hitting him. We need to do a rendezvous in orbit, basically. So that is going to be our goal, to rendezvous in orbit with the stranded Kerbal. So let's go ahead and we'll smack it. Oh, clicked off the screen just briefly there. And I'm going to go with the non-gimbling thrusters. So there's the non-gimbling thrusters. I'm going to put those together. Now then, the issue is getting this perfectly. You don't want it to. You want it to be perfectly like that, so that. And then when you put these on, they also need to be perfectly straight, so that you don't get any of that spin that we had last time. Now then, another issue is that these have to hold on. So we'll do something like that. I think that should work. I think that'll be okay. We don't have any of those crazy extra engines that we have to worry about. Do I have ladder bits at all? I don't, so it's going to be a bit of a pain to get him to grab on directly to that. But I think we'll be okay. Do I want to use... You know what? Just for giggles, we're gonna attach a couple of separatrons to this stage, because it could be fun to have it automatically separate itself like that. Alright, so there we got that going. Let us... You know what, we're just going to engage all the engines together, I think, on this launch. We got that. And we get Separatron. We don't want to deploy the parachutes when we engage this engine. Okay, so this will get us up most of the way, and then we'll maneuver ourselves into orbit. And we'll save, and we are ready to launch the Kerbal rescue pod. We got a Kerbal to rescue. Oh great, it's a night launch. That is not good in terms of electricity. So while we're sitting on the ground, of course you can time warp. So I'm going to go ahead and time warp until we get a sunrise. I want to see the sun. There we go. Oh, Jeb's in here. Jeb, what are you doing? Okay. Revert back to the assembly building. I forgot that we have to remove the Kerbal from the pod. We want this to be empty. Get Milzer Kerman there. Alright, save. Okay. We should be still able to fly because we've got the probe body. Okay, good. We got no Kerbal in there. Things are still attached. I'm going to time warp a bit so that the sun can fully rise. There it is, big and bright. Okay. So engage the SAS. Zoom out. Throttle up. And 3, 2, 1. Boosh. A much better landing. Much more oomph in taking off. Now, the trick is when we disengage the solid fuel boosters, how much speed we're going to lose. Hopefully, we won't lose too much. We want the engines we have to really like kick it into high gear. We want our momentum to carry us, because we don't want to come down at all. We want to continually be moving upwards, or else we're just wasting fuel. So I'm going to be quick on the drop here. As soon as those engines choke out, I will disengage them. I mean, we have the contract, right? Yeah, we have the contract. Okay, so solid fuel's about to burn out. They're gone, and drop them. Uh-oh. They blew up our fuel tanks! Damn it. And we're being shaken apart for some reason. Alright. So this was a failure. Deploy the parachutes. Alright. Let's just bring this thing down, I guess, and we'll try again. We might have to do a bit of a rethink on those attachment points for the solid fuel. That was just, I don't know why we suddenly started like shaking like crazy after that happened, but we lost so much material. Are we catching up to an engine? How the heck are we? Is this like just frozen in space? What the heck? Alright, maybe it was a game glitch after all. Alright, slowing down. My parachutes have deployed. Is that piece of debris still there? No, I guess not. Alright, we're basically back here at the launch pad. Woohoo! Alrighty, so we're gonna land it. SAS keeps us upright, and we'll recover the vessel. Alright, so as no science was earned, and we got some refunds back. As I said, we are not going to be reverting in case of an explosion like that. Once we hit the launch, we cannot revert back. So I'm going to go ahead and just take off these, and I think I'm gonna have to use the bigger ones just to make sure that we get proper separation when they blow. Yeah, okay. We'll put these engines back there, separate. Alright. So now for the structural launch, can I do something like this? Yep, I think I'm gonna have to do something like that. Keep them all together. And they need to be deployed at the same time together down here. So we'll save. Oh, well, I should have renamed it first, but oh well, okay. Still the pod 1, I guess. The original designs were lost. So that's okay. My mistake. Save happy, I guess. Okay, and so we need to once again remove Jebediah from the seat and hit launch. Yeah. All right. So attempt number 2. Still daytime. We're still good to go. And 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Good launch. Hopefully now when we separate these, they fall away and don't destroy our fuel tanks. Please and thank you. Alright, so we still got, let's pull open the map. Can we take a look here? Yep, there he is. So he's at 96,000, it looks like. He's a pretty circular orbit. So we'll be heading up there for a rendezvous with him. As best we can. It's been a while since I've done an orbital rendezvous. But it will be good practice for our Mun run because I am planning on doing a bit of an Apollo style trip where we're going to have a larger rocket and we're going to send down a lander. Okay, there we go. Did not take out our fuel. That's good. Still plenty of fuel left. Let's just take a look at this stage. There we go. Alrighty. So we need to be burning 90 degrees-ish. Once I get up to about this thick line here, I can take care of doing a turn. And our speed did not slow down. That is great. And we're still shooting for the low 90s, and then we'll figure out how we can meet up with him. I mean, we have plenty of time to do so. Alright, so we're moving into the middle blue region of the atmosphere. And our apoapsis is still pretty low. It's still only just a couple thousand, or still just a couple kilometers above where we currently are. So, okay. So we're nearly to that big full tick that I said we're going to do our turn at. And our goal is we're going to try and pick him up, and we're also going to try and land him back as close to the space center as we can get. There's some altitude record debris still sitting out there. Alright, so our apoapsis has climbed a bit, and we are at the tick mark, so I'm going to go ahead, slowly tilt the rocket over, using the power of SAS technology to do so. So we'll just hold it like this for now. Alright, there we go. We're now in orbital mode. We just need to get ourselves up there. So he's coming in pretty dang fast. I want to get this at least to 80, because he's dipping quite down. Alright, so let's go maybe 85. Yeah, let's go right up about there. We're still a little bit in the atmosphere, so that's okay. We want to circularize our orbit as much as possible. Do something a bit like that. Alright, so it's going to take an estimated 1 minute 7 seconds. So we need to immediately start working on it as soon as we get, I think, let's say about below a minute. It should be good. And we're below a minute, so we're going to start our burn. This is our burn for orbit, and it's going to require an engine change in the middle. But we are right here. Dewdrod Kerman is like lined up with us. So that's great. If we can get into a stable orbit, we might meet up with him at some point. We'll have to play around with that as much as we can. Maybe we won't have the engine change. Yeah, we're definitely going to have the engine change. I'm looking at how fast this is going down versus how fast this is going down. So we're going to have a quick engine change here in just a second. 100 points of fuel left. And it's going to cough. We just need to finish off our burn. Alright, that's good. That's good. Alright. Let's remove that maneuver, and we need to set him as our target. So we have an intersection point of 72 kilometers. Let's see what we can do to tweak that. If we add a maneuver, we want to get it closer than 72 kilometers. Or we want to meet up with him at a later time. So we can get another intersection out over here. Yeah, let's do that. A quick burn that will give us a pretty good intersection. Can we get it a bit closer? Yep, 3 kilometers. Look at that. Okay. So basically we're going to be, he's a little bit ahead of us, so we're going to be catching up to him. We have a 2-second burn to do. So we're going to get close to it. Alright, when it says 1 second, I'm going to fire the engines. Alright. And we're going to burn. We're going to burn. We're going to burn. We're going to just tweak out. Yep, 1 meter. There we go. Okay, done. We did it. 4 kilometers. Okay. So when we swing back around, what are we going to need to do? Are we going to need to slow down? No. When we get over there, we will just burn towards him, I think. So let's loop around. Alright, so he's on the inside track for some reason. Oh, I see, and then we're going to pass him. Interesting. Okay, so we're doing some interesting orbital maneuvers here. We're letting him get a little bit ahead. and then we're gonna get a little, and then we're going to catch up to him, basically. So there we go. We've dipped ourselves down onto the inside track. Uh-oh. We got rather low. Oh, we got very low. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let's do some physical time warp, I guess. I wasn't paying attention to how low we got. That might pose some issues in the future for us. We really don't want to be this low, so I'm going to accelerate.